Most conversations about AI in 2026 are loud, dramatic, and strangely unhelpful. They focus on the flashiest demos, the newest model releases, or the fear that everything will suddenly become automated overnight. And while those conversations sound informed, they miss a quieter shift happening underneath. The truth is, the biggest changes coming from AI aren't explosive. They're structural. They don't show up as viral screenshots. They show up in how work is redesigned, how decisions get made, and which skills quietly stop being rare. That's why many people who feel ahead of AI today are actually preparing for a version of the future that won't exist. They're optimizing for power instead of placement, for tools instead of systems, for novelty instead of reliability. In this video, I want to approach the same AI trends everyone's talking about from a different angle. Instead of asking what AI will become by 2026, we're going to look at which assumptions about AI will stop being true and what replaces them. Because once those assumptions collapse, the real advantages become obvious. Myth number 1, choosing the best model is the strategy. For the last few years, AI conversations have revolved around one question: which model is better? Every release triggered debates, rankings, and benchmark charts. That made sense when the gaps between models were large and obvious. Choosing the wrong one genuinely limited what you could do. By 2026, that logic quietly breaks down. The performance gap between leading models continues to shrink. Improvements still happen, but they happen together. At the same time, the cost of using advanced models keeps dropping due to more efficient hardware and optimization. When performance converges and prices fall, something important happens. The technology stops being the advantage. This is what commoditization looks like. Nobody argues about which power plant generates the smartest electricity. Electricity just exists, and the value comes from how it's applied. AI is heading in the same direction. As a result, choosing a model becomes less of a strategic decision and more of a logistical one. What matters instead is where that AI sits. Is it embedded into the tools you already use? Does it remember your work? Does it reduce friction or add to it? By 2026, the winners aren't the people who picked the best AI. They're the ones who stopped treating models as the product and started treating them as infrastructure. Myth number 2, autonomous AI agents will run everything. Scroll through social media, and you'd think we're on the brink of handing over entire companies to autonomous AI agents. The idea is seductive. Software that plans, executes, adapts, and operates with minimal human input. In theory, it sounds like the endgame. In practice, that future arrives much more slowly than the hype suggests. What actually scales in organizations today isn't autonomy. It's workflows, structured sequences where AI handles predictable steps and humans retain judgment, oversight, and accountability. This isn't a compromise. It's a design advantage. Fully autonomous agents struggle with reliability, security, edge cases, and trust. When something goes wrong, nobody knows where responsibility lives. That makes leaders cautious, especially in regulated or high-risk environments. Workflows avoid this problem entirely. They redesign how work flows rather than replacing the worker. AI might summarize inputs, draft outputs, flag anomalies, or generate options while humans make final calls. These systems deliver real efficiency gains without breaking trust. By 2026, the companies getting value from AI won't be the ones chasing autonomy. They'll be the ones who quietly rebuilt their processes around repeatability. Ironically, those organizations will be best positioned to adopt true agents later because they've already mapped their work. The future doesn't belong to hands-off AI. It belongs to well-designed handoffs. Myth number 3, you need deep tech skills to benefit from AI. There was a time when technical skill acted like a gate. If you couldn't code, query databases, or automate systems, your ideas stayed stuck on paper. AI didn't remove that gate at first. It just shifted it slightly. By 2026, that gate largely disappears. More non-technical workers are now doing things that previously required specialists. Writing scripts, cleaning data, building internal tools, automating reports. Not because they suddenly became engineers, but because AI absorbed much of the mechanical complexity. This creates a counterintuitive outcome. Technical skill still matters, but it no longer guarantees leverage. The people who benefit most are the ones who deeply understand a domain and can now execute without waiting. AI compresses the distance between knowing and doing. That disproportionately helps people who already know what should be built, improved, or fixed. Meanwhile, roles built entirely around technical bottlenecks quietly lose their edge. This doesn't mean expertise disappears. It means expertise shifts. Value moves from execution to judgment, from syntax to insight, from how to build something to knowing whether it should exist at all. By 2026, the biggest career advantage isn't technical brilliance. It's domain fluency paired with AI literacy. If you understand the problem deeply, AI removes your excuses for not acting. Quick pause. If this breakdown is useful and you want more videos that cut through AI hype with clear thinking and real-world perspective, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. It helps the channel grow and tells YouTube you want more content like this. All right, let's keep going. Myth number 4. Prompting is the most important skill. Prompting had its moment. AI systems were literal, fragile, and easily confused. The difference between a great result and a useless one often came down to how cleverly you phrased a request. That matters far less by 2026. Modern models are much better at interpreting vague instructions, incomplete sentences, and natural language. But they still fail in one critical way. They don't know your context. They don't know your goals, your internal documents, your past decisions, or your constraints unless you explicitly give them access. That's the real bottleneck now. Not wording, but awareness. This is why the AI race increasingly looks like a platform war. Tools that sit inside email, documents, calendars, and project systems have a massive advantage. They don't just answer questions. They understand the environment the question came from. Context becomes the multiplier. The same model produces wildly different results depending on what it's allowed to see. That shift has consequences. File organization stops being optional. Information sprawl becomes a liability. Work scattered across disconnected tools creates friction that no prompt can fix. By 2026, the key question won't be how should I ask this? It will be, does the AI actually know what I'm talking about? Prompting becomes syntax, context becomes strategy. Myth number 5. Advertising will ruin AI. The idea of ads entering AI tools triggers an immediate negative reaction, and understandably so. Nobody enjoys advertising, but removing emotion from the conversation reveals a harder truth. Without ads, advanced AI becomes expensive. Without an ad-supported tier, access narrows. Over time, the best tools get locked behind paywalls, and the people who benefit most are those who can already afford them. That creates a compounding advantage. Wealthier users gain better tools, which help them become more productive, which reinforces inequality. It's not hypothetical. We've seen this pattern before. Advertising, when done correctly, acts as a distribution mechanism. It allows powerful tools to remain accessible to students, nonprofits, small teams, and individuals who can't justify another monthly subscription. The real question isn't whether ads appear, it's how they appear. If AI systems begin subtly steering answers towards sponsors, trust collapses. But if ads remain clearly separated from responses, more like traditional display formats, the core utility stays intact. By 2026, ads aren't the villain. The real risk is AI becoming a luxury resource. Imperfect access is better than exclusive access. The future of AI depends less on purity and more on reach. Myth number 6. AI is mostly a white-collar story. So far, most AI headlines focus on knowledge work, writing, coding, design, analysis. That creates the illusion that AI's impact stops at the screen. It doesn't. By 2026, the more interesting shift happens when AI leaves software and enters physical systems, vehicles, warehouses, factories, logistics networks. These aren't futuristic concepts, they're already operating at scale. What's changing isn't just automation, it's how machines improve over time. Historically, physical assets depreciated. They lost value as they aged. AI flips that model. A machine connected to a learning system doesn't stay static. It improves through software updates, optimization, and shared data. The physical hardware stays the same, but its capabilities grow. This turns equipment into platforms, assets into endpoints. A vehicle or robot purchased today may perform better in 3 years than it did on day 1. This shift unfolds slowly and unevenly. Especially outside industrial settings, humanoid robots remain far off, but targeted automation in controlled environments expands steadily. The long-term implication is clear. AI doesn't just disrupt jobs, it changes how capital behaves. And that transformation will quietly reshape industries long before it becomes headline news. When you zoom out, a pattern emerges. AI in 2026 isn't defined by intelligence explosions or sudden takeovers. It's defined by normalization. Models become utilities. Workflows beat autonomy. Domain knowledge outpaces technical skill. Context replaces clever prompts. Ads preserve access. Physical systems evolve slowly but steadily. The advantage shifts away from prediction and toward preparation, from chasing breakthroughs to designing systems that absorb them. We're in a rare window where rules are still forming. There are no true experts yet, only fast learners. That's uncomfortable, but it's also an opportunity. The people who win in 2026 won't be the ones with the perfect AI plan. They'll be the ones who started early, experimented often, and built habits instead of a hype. AI doesn't reward certainty, it rewards adaptability. And right now, that's still something anyone can develop.